Okay, everybody, in this video, we're going to walk through how do we use some information to create the age, knowing that we can't have 18-year-old professors and the like. So first step, go to a data index and put in a min and a max over here. So, what's the current student? Let's put in an 18-year-old, and normally you'd put in a 22-year-old, right? But you got to think about hockey players who may have played in leagues and different things like that before they came here. You might have to think about non-traditional students, etc. Now that's going to be a trickier situation because non-traditional students could be professor age. Okay? But for all intent and purpose, the first thing we're going to do, we're just going to do this elementary style, which means very basic. We're not going to think about a retired professor or a professor who has been here a long time. We're just going to do a plain, simple approach here. So a staff member, we certainly have professors that are 28 or staff members who are older, but this one here, we're going to put 18. You can get a job here at 18 years old. And we're going to put age of, let's just put like 62 here. You can certainly adjust that. I'm not trying to offend anybody. You can put it to 68 or 70, whatnot. Professor here, this is where we start getting more interesting, where we want to say professor, you got to have your bachelor's degree, you got to have a master's degree. Are you going to be a university that requires a doctorate? Because then that's another 2 to 4 years. So 6, so 10. So 28, hypothetically, maybe, if that's all they did. They went right through school. But are you going to be a university that uses the word professor a little too loosely? Everybody's a professor. Well, then why would you have instructor in your category? So let's go here. Let's just bump it to 30. And up here, we're not going to do professor emeritus, which basically means, you're retired, but you're still of the rank and title of professor for the university. But we're just going to bump this to, 62 again. I know if you're a professor watching this video, you're probably throwing stones at me right now, but the reality is I gotta close it somewhere. Instructor, we could have a 22-year-old instructor, depending on the school, if it's a theater, dance, fine arts, something like that. We do want to be careful with that, though. Some universities have policy towards not hiring alums right after they graduate. So why don't we bump that up to 24? And then up here, we can go to 62 again. Starting to see a common theme here. Industry guest. Now, this could change quite a bit. We certainly could have 16-year-olds come in and talk about their experiences. But what we're looking for here is we're looking for people that have established themselves. So in here, I'm going to put, 24 again. And this time I'm going to bump it up to 70 because you could have people coming in and telling their stories and such. Prospective student, let's put that to 16 to let's put 19 there just for fun. You could have some students that didn't go to college right away or whatnot, had a gap year especially, and such. Alumni, now you want this to be at least the age of your maximum of your students. So we'll put 22 there. Yes, we have some 21-year-olds and things like that, but we'll go over here and we can put in 70 again, Up here, as I talked about earlier, I actually didn't make that change, but we want to put in, let's put in 25 here. Now that does change the alumni perspective in the sense that we do have alumni that are 22, but then we also have some students that, are 25. Now the problem you're going to have here, the further out you go, because the distribution is only a few digits, now you've introduced 7 uniquenesses, which is really 15% chance. So you're going to have, if I take 25, 23, 24, and I take 1 divided by 7 again, and I multiply that by 3, I'm going to have a 42% chance that I have people that are 23, 24, and 25 in this number. So just be careful with that. You might have to revert to something similar to what we did over here and over here. Okay, and now what we're going to do is a ran between function. Ran between the VLOOKUP of this, and make sure you hit a comma there. Easy to do when you're moving so fast is to forget those commas. go grab that, and then grab the 2, close that off, put a comma there, and then grab our other stuff here. I'm just trying to do this quickly. Copy this over, and now we're going to put F to H because it'll be 3 columns, 1, 2, 3, and we'll put the 3 up there. Now close that bracket off, and there we go. Now we have our data. We have a 42-year-old industry guest that's male. We have female student. We have a professor that's 55, industry guest female 49, professor that's 32, current student male 25, etc. So now you can see how you can manipulate things a little further to create some data with RAND betweens in them.